Hello, lovely people. I welcome you once again to today's class. And I want to say thank you to you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for taking time to watch all the videos that we've posted so far. I'm so grateful. In our previous lesson, we worked on maximizing people tolerance. And that lesson helped us to be able to identify who we are in terms of our personality, and then also be able to assess others around us so that we can have a peaceful coexistence with the people around us in terms of being able to tolerate them because we know their personalities, the strengths and the weaknesses of their personalities, and therefore we are able to work with them, we're able to stay with them at home as couples, we're able to stay with them as our children, our parents, siblings, friends, what have you. So it was a very important lesson we had. I mean, today we are going to have also an equally important lesson, and the topic for today is life scripts. I would want to go, with your permission, to share my screen as we go through the lecture. Thank you so much for sticking through. Yeah. Good. So, life scripts. So, by the time we are done with the lesson, we'll be able to define life scripts. You will also be able to evaluate your life position, rewrite your life scripts positively, and then understand strokes. Good. So, in cognitive psychology, one of the things that is clear is that every individual has a life script. So, whether you know about it or not, you have a life script. It's just like in movie production. There's always a script that the actors and actresses in the movie have to go by. And therefore, our lives are also with scripts. And these scripts are actually based on, a set of childhood decisions made unconsciously by us in response to parental messages about ourselves, about others, and about the world. So, growing up, all the things that you gathered, all the messages that you gathered about who you are, who others are, and what the world is what is known as your life script. Now, one of the authors in psychology that has written extensively about life scripts is Eric Berne. And he said that a life script is simply a life plan based on decisions made at any developmental stage. So all the things that you have been able to gather help you to make certain decisions that inhibit your spontaneity and then also limit your flexibility in terms of problem solving. So everything that you know about yourself now as you watch me is based on the things that you gathered, the messages you gathered about yourself whilst you were growing up. So it is very crucial to understand what we call the ego states. Now, the ego states are three in number. You have the parent ego state, the adult ego state, and then the child ego state. The parent ego state has to do with behaviors, thoughts, and feelings that we copied from our parents or caregivers. If you say caregivers, all the people that helped in bringing us up, okay, they are the caregivers. Now, everything that we copied from them makes up our parent ego state. And then we have the adult ego stage, which is a place where you as an individual, you act based on your own personality, what you are. So the behaviors, thoughts, and feelings of the adult ego state are direct responses to here and now. So what are the things that are happening to you now are what you base your behaviors on. And then you have the child ego stage, which has to do with a replay from your childhood. So the childhood feelings that you had, the childhood excitement, the childhood pain, everything that you've been through in the childhood also plays a role. And this is what we call the child ego state. So as you are there watching now, you notice that some of the times you do certain things that look as though it's your parents acting. Okay, sometimes you behave in a certain way, you talk in a certain way that looks like or sounds like your parent. That is a parent ego state. At some point, you talk or do things as though you're going back into your childhood. So that is the child ego state. The best place to be as a person at every point in time is the adult ego state. At that point, you're able to reason, you're able to use facts, base your actions on facts, and that is where we want to be as individuals. Now, we want to look at the four life positions. Every one of us has a life position. Every one of us has how we look at life. There are some of us who look at life in this light. What they say is that I am not okay. You are okay. So when you're with such people, we call that the one down position. So they look down on themselves at every point in time. They feel that everything they do is wrong. They are not beautiful. They are not nice. They are not appreciated. They can't do anything. And other people are the best. Okay. And such people always have what we call the low self-esteem, and they feel inferior to every other person around them, in terms of their work, in terms of relationships, everything that they are doing. They feel that they are always not good at anything. We have the next one, which is I am not okay, you are not okay. These people, the people with this life position, feel that nobody is right. They can't do anything. Others can also not do anything. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in others. When you're with such people in marriage, it affects you. When you're with such people at the workplace, at church, wherever you find yourself with them, you struggle with them because they feel that they can't do it, and you can also not do it. There are others on the extreme right. You find that I am okay, you are not okay. There are others who feel that they are the best of people. Now, every other person is not good. Every other person can do anything. They are the best, and at every point in time, everybody should bow to them because they are okay. Every other person is not okay. The last group of people are those who see themselves in this light, saying that I am okay, you are okay. Now, these people are at a point where we call the healthy position. Here, you believe in your capabilities, whilst you also believe in the capabilities of others, knowing well that we are not all the same. We are different, but uniquely different. Everybody has what they can do uniquely. Everybody has their potentials. So when we bring these two together, bringing my potentials together with yours, we can become the best that we have to become. So this is a point where we all want to be, rather than being on any of the other three sides in life. Good. So being able to get to that point where you say, I am okay, you are okay. Okay, that's what we call trying to develop the I am okay and you are okay program. I am okay, you are okay program. And one of the things we can do is to be able to read the signal. So whenever our parent and child ego states are coming up in our relationship with others, we need to quickly identify the signals. And then quickly, the next one is restrain the automatic and archaic responses of parent and child. All right. So once you want to say certain things that you pick from your parents that are not good, or the things that you pick from your childhood, a replay of your childhood that is not good, you try to restrain it. And then you give time to the adults to come through. So the adult in you, which is where the point where you want to be, the point where everything around you, or everybody is given the chance to explain themselves. Everything around you is in such a way that there's always facts around you. You use facts to make decisions. That point, you have to give yourself, always put yourself in that position, rather than using the child or the parent ego state. And then also question your parents and child data. Some of the things that you learned from your parents are definitely not the best, and you have to, what we call, unlearn and then relearn. Okay, at some point in time, you need to be able to unlearn certain things that you learned from your parents, and then get out of those childhood behaviors, and then become the adult that you're supposed to become. The last thing is to learn to see the pack in others. The pack is the parent, adult, child. Everybody switches in between one of these states at some point. So whenever a colleague, a spouse, a child, your child tries to switch in between, try to understand them and then help them to get back into the adult state where they're able to reason for themselves here and now. Okay, good. Now, in an attempt to write a positive life script out of a negative script, some of us have had to deal with a lot of negative things in life, negative experiences. And these experiences have caged you in a certain box. There are people who have gone through abuses. There are people who have gone through all sorts of negative experiences, have had to start life all over, have had to deal with bad friends, bad family members, people who have been maltreated badly by step parents, what have you. all these things have become a cage for some people. Now, in an attempt to write a positive script out of this negative script, there are certain things that we need to do. We need to be able to start speaking to ourselves, and rather than, because of the situations that we've been through, some of us say things like, oh, bad things always happen to me. Instead of saying that, you can see that I can make things happen. When you start turning, negativity into positivity, it starts reflecting in your life. And once you say things like, this is too big a problem, then automatically your problems become bigger than you. But when you say, I can tackle this challenge, so you don't see problems, but you see challenges. Some people have had to live with relatives who schooled their children and left them being uneducated. And for that reason, you find yourself in a place where you're not supposed to be, and you're always complaining and thinking that life could have been better for you. It's a reality that maybe if you went to school at that time, things would have been better. But that doesn't mean that now you can't do something. You can make something out of who you are. There's always a way out. And these are some of the things you have to do. Writing positive scripts, being able to turn the situation around by your own words, by your own steps that you are taking, the decisions that you're taking. So instead of comparing yourself to others, you can say that I can become the best I can be. And before you know, things will turn in your favor. So I want to ask this question: what kind of mindset do you have? Now, a researcher called Carl Dweck came up with two types of mindsets. Now, we have people with a fixed mindset and another set of people with a growth mindset. Those with a fixed mindset, in terms of challenges, they always try to avoid challenges. Okay, they try to shy away from challenges. Those with a growth mindset will embrace the challenge and work at it, see to it that they do something with their lives. Those with a fixed mindset try to give up whenever there's an obstacle. Okay, they just fold their arms and then say that, no, this one, because there's a blockade, I can't go. And they sit aloof and watch. Those with a growth mindset will always persist. They will do more. They will try to push through to the end. Now, in terms of efforts, with a fixed mindset, all you will say is that, oh, whatever I'm doing is fruitless. With a growth mindset, your efforts, you see them as a path to mastery. Okay, so whatever you're putting in life, into your life, you see it as steps you are taking to greatness. Okay, in terms of criticisms, people with a fixed mindset ignore criticisms. They don't want to hear you correct them. They don't want to hear you compliment or say something about what they are doing. They always want to hear good things or nothing. In terms of the growth mindset, you notice that they learn. People with growth mindset learn from criticism. So as you are correcting their errors, as you are talking about them, they are learning, they are picking something. For the success of others, people with a fixed mindset, you don't want to see others succeed. The same thing that they are doing, if it's music and they see other people succeeding in the area, they try to talk them down. They try to say all sorts of things about them. They are threatened by the success of others. People with a growth mindset are always motivated. They learn from the success of others. Because this person has been able to do that, I can also do it. And they appreciate these people. So if you find yourself always talking bad about people who have made it in life just because they are not you, then there's a problem. It means that you have a fixed mindset. And with a fixed mindset, the certainty is that you're going to plateau. In no time, you're going to go down the drain. With a growth mindset, you're going to go higher. You're going to reach higher pedestals because you are able to put things together in terms of your mind. Okay, and the mind is very critical when we talk about success. Good. So we want to look quickly at another thing, which is strokes, and it has a lot to do with the life scripts. Okay, Eric Berne also wrote about strokes. A stroke is simply a unit of recognition. So anything that has to do with recognizing someone, okay, is a stroke. It could be anything, a compliment, words of support, criticisms, anything, a hate, a frown can be a stroke. Eric Berne said that strokes are fundamental units of social action. Okay, so when a person recognizes another person, it means that he has given a stroke. Now, his work Eric Barnes' work was based on René Spitz research. René Spitz actually researched on children, and he said that children who are not cuddled from childhood, who are not touched, who are not played with, who are not given certain kinds of affection, tend to suffer in their adulthood. They tend to struggle with emotions. Okay, and Eric Bana also looked at this research and said that, okay, then adults, he looked at it from the perspective of adults and said that adults also need strokes because we are humans. From a childhood, you need all the cuddling, all the affection from the caregivers. But as you're growing, you need what we call strokes. So any kind of recognition that will help the adult. So he says that adults recognition hungry or stroke hungry. Okay, so we want to get strokes from others. And at every point in time, you can attest to the fact that most of the things you do, you want somebody to compliment and say that, oh, you did it well. Oh, your dress was nice. Oh, I like how you dress. Oh, I like how you move. And these are what we call the strokes in our lives. Okay, now there are types of strokes. We have positive strokes and negative strokes. Strokes can be verbal or non-verbal, and again, they can be conditional or unconditional. All right, in terms of positive strokes, there are things that you say to encourage others. Negative strokes bring down the spirit of others. Verbal means that it's spoken. The non-verbal can be in terms of actions, any gesture that you make. And then the conditional strokes, okay, strokes can actually be positive or negative. Under that, you can have conditional and unconditional. So those conditional strokes are strokes that are based on something, okay, based on what a person has done or based on a condition. But the unconditional ones are just open. They are just, you just give them for the fact that you just want to give them, not for the fact that they are based on anything. Good. So we want to emphasize on positive strokes. A positive stroke is simply a stroke which the receiver experiences as pleasant. So that is a positive stroke. So when you meet your neighbor and then you exchange a greeting, you exchange a hug, you do also, you say all sorts of things to make the person happy, then that is what we say you are giving a positive stroke. Wonderful. Now, the most health producing stroke is a positive unconditional stroke. Strokes that are not based on anything but are positive are the most health producing strokes. Okay, these strokes are given just because, I mean, you appreciate the person. So when you tell your child that I love you because, I mean, you are my son and I love you, or you say that the room lights up when you are here. All these things are things that you say to make somebody feel excited. However, you have to be careful when you are giving positive strokes to a child behaving wrongly. You should clearly distinguish between the behavior and the personality. So you let the child know that I love you, but this thing you are doing is wrong. At the end of the day, the child doesn't mix up the stroke you are giving with his personality. So the strokes are, I mean, the personality is aside, and then the behavior is also clearly stated as such. All right. So one of the activities that we can do to be able to know how our life script is and be able to rewrite them is to, one, be able to identify the individuals who have given you positive or negative messages in the past. So you would want to take time to go through this exercise. I believe that it will help you greatly to be able to write your own life script. Next thing is to state the negative or positive messages that each gave you, implicitly or explicitly. So if people have said bad things to you, you know, some people have been told that you are not beautiful, you are dumb, you are useless. I mean, you were created for nothing. You were born out of wedlock. You were that. A lot of things have been said by our teachers, by our step parents, by our mothers. Some parents have said very bad things to their children, and these things have had a negative impact on us. You would want to write them down intentionally. Write down also the positive things that have been said about you, or even if, I mean, you didn't hear it, sometimes you saw it. So some of them are implicit, meaning that they were not said, but you felt it, you felt the love. So write those ones down. Then you state the positive messages you want to give to yourself by rewriting the negative messages and affirming the positive ones. So those bad things that were said about you. So if somebody told you, so you write, auntie said that I am useless, and you remember that, and that has had an effect on your life, it has taken a toll on you. So you want to write it down and now write that I am useful, there's something good coming out of me, I am valuable. So you are rewriting the negative scripts that has been written about you, that stroke that was given and it has affected your script. You want to rewrite it and make it into a positive one. Then the fourth thing is to identify the people in your life that you need to give messages. So there are also people in your life, the same way when you were growing up, others gave you certain messages that have affected your self-esteem, that has affected your personality. You would also want to give messages to people. So write down intentionally, if it's your children, if it's your husband, if it's your wife, if it's your whatever, your friends, your co-workers, you want to write down these people and the messages you want to give them, and intentionally give these messages to them. Now that you have the opportunity, give them these positive messages that will help them to also build their lives. You know, there are some people who are waiting for you to die before they come to your funeral and say all sorts of nice things. I wonder why we wait till then, because it becomes almost useless, if I should say. It becomes, just fairy tales. If we're able to tell people whilst they are alive the good things that we think about them, encourage them to do more, it will impress you how these people will turn out to be. Even those that you feel are not doing well, if you're able to look at some of the things that they are doing right and then compliment them for them, and now give them constructive criticisms as to how they can do things better, I'm telling you that you will be amazed at the kind of results that you'll be getting around you. Not everybody has had the opportunity to be criticized in their lives. They always feel that, oh, people can say around you that, oh, this person is disrespectful. Maybe there's a core reason. You need to come closer, give them positive messages, find out why they behave the way they do. And I'm telling you on authority that you will enjoy the people around you. In conclusion, I want to say that there are two primary choices in life. Okay, now in this life, it's either you want to accept conditions as they exist or accept the responsibility for changing them. And this is a saying by Dennis Waitley. Okay, he says that at any point in time, you decide what to do with your life. The fact that for the past 40 years, for the past 20 years, somebody has taken charge of your life, your parents. Now you are also here. What can you do to make your world better? What can you do to take responsibility of your own life rather than sitting down, folding your arms and blaming somebody for your childhood experiences? All these things have gone by, but you today can make a change in your own life. You can do something to make that change that you're looking for happen, and it starts from now. The clock is ticking, and therefore you would want to arise and do something for yourself. I just saw a post that said that when you talk about your background, it should end at 30. After 30, you are the background. You can make a change. You can build something for your life. As a young person, I would even limit it to 15. After 15 years, after you have written your BEC, or 16, your life should begin from there. You should actually take charge of your life and make something out of your life. Thank you so much for taking time to go through the class. Thank you. And I want to say that if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate at any point in time to put it in the chat console or to private message me. I'll be willing to answer your questions at any time. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Have a wonderful day.